What is up, guys? DZ here, and today I wanted to show you a deck that I'm super excited to share for a couple reasons. So first off, it is Slim's favorite deck, pretty much. So shout out to him. Uh, Hopefully he doesn't hate this build. But also it's exciting because this deck was actually made possible by the viewers. I played Dark World Zombies on my Twitch stream several nights in a row, and I kept getting requests for the deck profile, but so I didn't really have any Dark World cards, so I couldn't actually profile in real life. So we had Justin, one of my viewers, actually sent me a lot of the spells that I needed for this deck, as well as some of the monsters, and then we also had donations to get the rest of the cards that he didn't actually have. So yeah, I mean, this deck was made possible by Twitch viewers, which is awesome. But yeah, I really like this deck, so I'll show you what I've been working on here. So we're playing 3 Brow. Brow is like the best one in this build, because he's like the only one that like all the Dark Worlds are kind of bricky because we're not playing Drag Down in this version. Drag Down's kind of bad right now, just because I mean every deck kind of has cards that it wants in the graveyard, so playing a card that just like gives your opponent that is kind of tough. Also, we have a lot. It's very rare where you can like set everything and only have Dark Worlds in hand. So yeah, we're actually only playing 2 Grapha. Well, before I explain that, so we're playing 2 Grapha, 2 Snow, and 2 Beige. That completes the Dark World lineup. So, like I said, the Dark World themselves are kind of bricky. You don't really want a hand of all these monsters because only real way to discard them without having a Dark World engrave already is Dark World Dealings, which for the same reason that Drag Down isn't very good, Dark World Dealing isn't super great, but we have to play it and it's searchable, so it's a little better. And obviously you get to choose with discard. But the problem with these is that like if you play like 3 of all of these, you like draw them way too much. You don't really need 3 of any of them besides Brow, because Brow digs you to the combo cards. But a lot of what you're doing with this deck is you're recycling the banished ones with Cyframe Lord Omega, and then you're banishing them again to discard something, get a free draw, get a free effect, and then special summoning one of the banished ones with Levier the Sea Dragon, which we have a lot of access to, and then bouncing that back to our hand for Grapha. That puts a Dark World in our hand for next turn, and it puts a Grapha on board to do damage. But overall, I really like these numbers. I even have cut a Beige at some points, but I think this is a pretty solid lineup. So yeah, that's the Dark World monsters. For the zombies, we're playing a standard lineup of 3 Solitaire, 2 Mizuki, and 2 Unizombie. That's really standard. So the key with this deck is that Unizombie's discard triggers the Dark Worlds because it's not a cost, and that's like the main theme. So if you have like Unizombie and Beige, like that's an Omega right there. But yeah, you're just using that interaction as much as possible. We're also playing 3 Terratop and a Takedown and a Tour Guide, so this kind of helps us make rank 3s. Levier the Sea Dragon is like super important, so we want access to that at all times. Tour Guide is like kind of the worst normal summon in the deck because usually you want to use a normal summon on Solitaire or a zombie monster, but you don't always have access to those, so it's silly not to play this as a one of. And lastly, you're playing 2 Maxi just because I mean this deck wants to have a lot of cards in hand, so Maxi's good. For the spells, got a lot of 3 of, so we're playing 3 Gates, sort of like the main field spell. Definitely want access to that at all times. 3 Dealings. Like I said, I don't really like this card because, like, against like ABCs, they're always gonna like discard a piece, and then you kind of help them set up. But you like need to play this card because without it, there's no good way to get Dark Worlds in the grave or to discard Dark Worlds without Gates, and Gates needs a Dark World in the graveyard already, so there's like a problem there. So yeah, 3 of each of those. We're also playing 3 Desires as well as 3 Allure of Darkness. So, I mean, these cards are really important. This is kind of how you get to your combo pieces. I mean, we have 3 Dealings, we have 3 Gates. I mean, those once you get set up, you can keep using those. We have 3 Allure, 3 Desires. Yeah, I mean, this just gets you to the ideal hand. I mean, really, you're trying to end with like at least 1 Omega, a Levier, and a Grapha. That's really the ideal field. Hopefully a rank 8, but we'll have to see. One of the more important cards is 3 DDR. So because we're not playing Drag Down, I like DDR a lot. Obviously, it doesn't trigger the Dark Worlds, but it does get them in the graveyard so that you can use Gates and banish them. It's like a lot of combos you can do with that. Yeah, DDR is crazy. It's also how you make rank 8s, basically. because you can like banish a Grapha with Gates, and then discard another Grapha, and then DDR to summon the banished Grapha, and then normal summon a Dark World, bounce back to hand to summon the discarded Grapha. So then you can either do 6,000 damage or make a rank 8. We're also playing 2 Instant Fusion. This just makes the single Omega hands into double Omega hands, so it's pretty stupid. And then 1 Regeki, 1 Soul Charge, and 1 Foolish. Foolish is good. I mean, this card's super versatile because you can send Mizuki. You can send any of the Dark Worlds. Grapha is usually the one you go for, so I like the card a lot. For the traps, we were playing Warning and Emptiness. Pretty standard one-ofs, but we're also playing 2 Dark Smog. So I think Dark Smog is actually really good right now. It's good because it lets you trigger the Dark Worlds on your opponent's turn, so you get more value. And then, I mean, every turn this card stays alive, it's just super good because then you're getting a free discard every turn and you're disrupting your opponent's graveyard. But yeah, using this, discarding Grapha is like super powerful. It almost makes you want to play a 3rd Grapha, but it's just too bricky. But yeah, I really do like Dark Smog right now. For the extra deck, we have 2 Levier. Pretty standard. I mean, that's like the card you want to go into almost all time. 1 Break Sword just for popping back row. 1 Totem Bird. There's definitely some times you can end with like when you don't have to use a Levier, but you have like a Terror Top and you want to make just like a defensive card. Totem Bird, sort of the card you go for. 1 Dweller, and then the Utopia monsters, just for the rank 4s. Rank 4s aren't super important in this deck. Usually you're just trying to synchro. For the rank 8s, 1 Felgran, 1 Hope Harbinger, and then the Galaxy Eyes package. So these are just really good for pushing through big boards. I really like them a lot. But yeah, you can definitely like make these cards more often than you'd probably think you would. A lot of times you just have a lot of threats on board, so you can have a Grapha survive a turn and then summon another one the next turn. And then we have 2 Omega and a Scarlight. I really like Scarlight. He's good for basically just letting you win games that were probably unwinnable without it. Then Omega is obviously like insane and one of my favorite cards, so that's why we're playing that. Lastly, just 1 Norden for the Instant Fusion. Don't really need any other targets for it. But yeah, that was Dark World Zombies. This deck's a lot of fun. It's actually pretty good, but you can definitely turbo through your deck faster than a lot of other decks can right now. It's kind of like playing, or it's kind of like what I imagine playing DDDs is going to be like once January comes along. But yeah, for now, this deck's a lot of fun. And if you're trying to play Dark Worlds, this is definitely the way to do it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the deck profile, and I'll see you later. Bye.